Okay, another video for the Africa Twin. Not on the Africa at the moment. Just doing a little project on the bike, and of course I need one more piece. I thought I had some double-sided tape at home. Look everywhere and I don't, so it's very frustrating when you're right at the end of finishing a little project and you need one more piece and you gotta go and get something. So I'm on the W800, just gonna go down to the hardware shop just around the corner and get some double-sided tape. Instead of riding the Africa, I'll ride the little W800. So I've been riding the W800 a little bit instead of the Africa lately, just to give it a bit of a run. Can't remember the last time I'd put fuel in it, so I thought I'd better give it a decent ride. So I took it for a bit of a ride on the weekend. To answer people's questions about remembering the clutch after riding the DCT Africa Twin after a while, I only sort of had one moment where I forgot the clutch. I was pulling up slowly to an intersection, the bike started to labour, and then I remembered I had to pull the clutch in. Other than that, it's been pretty easy. Jumping back on the Africa, I think once I tried to stick the bike into neutral and I stopped with the gear lever. That wasn't there. So it's not that hard to remember. Probably because these bikes are so different amongst themselves. The little cafe racer and the Africa Twin's a big adventure bike. I'm sure if they were a very similar bike I'd probably forget easier. Very convenient having these two big shops 2 minutes from home, but end up spending money. It's too convenient. So, go in and grab what I need and come back. This is all I needed, some double-sided tape. So I'll go home and I'll show you the little project that I've been working on. Probably the biggest difference I noticed riding the W800 after riding the Africa Twin for about 1200 kilometres is riding in this naked bike. You really notice the wind after riding something with a fairing. It's been a bit windy lately, but I noticed it a lot more on a naked bike. Nothing to hide behind. Also, I've ordered, apart from the project I'm working on, I've also ordered some soft panniers for the Africa Twin. SW Motec Dakar panniers. They come with some like light bar work on to hold the panniers out a bit off the exhaust, etc. And the actual bags themselves, I think they're about 20 litres each. So I'm just waiting for them to arrive. I've also ordered the Batson screen riser. So fits all the standard screen, aftermarket screens. You can adjust the position up and down. I'm just trying to move the wind a couple inches higher so it'll miss the peak of my helmet. It only has to go up a little bit and it should push all the airflow straight over the top of the head. Got the adjustable screen riser over a larger screen, so I can sort of fiddle and try and find the sweet spot. So hopefully I can do that with the standard screen. Okay, so I've got two sort of projects on the go. One I'm going to finish today with the double-sided table I just got. As you can see, I've replaced the phone holder that I had, which was a sealed unit, sort of a bit awkward to use with the RAM mount unit. Fitting quite easily. I've got the stem mount one, so it goes in there. Use the short extension up to the actual RAM mount unit itself. Fits my Galaxy S7 pretty easily. Doesn't get in the way of the screen when I'm in the seating position writing, so that's all good, and it's a lot easier to use because it's not inside a case. Easier to get on and off the bike. And the project that I'm doing is, someone on a YouTube video commented that I should add wireless charging to the RAM mount. So instead of sticking the cord in every time, I've got a small disc underneath here, which I'll show you in a sec, which will charge the phone off the 12 volt socket. So as you can see, at the moment there's no cord in there. Start the ignition, and you can see there, it is charging wirelessly. So it's a lot easier. What I need the double-sided tape is at the moment the little charging pad's just sitting there, sort of barely held in the pressure of the phone, so I just want to tape it down so it doesn't move and there's no phone in there. So that should be pretty easy to do. Thanks to the person who commented on doing that. I never would have even thought of that. I'm actually surprised no one doesn't make one, because that'd be a lot easier if it was built in. So more and more phones are probably going to come out with wireless charging, where you can get the little card that goes in the back to make it wireless charge compatible. So I think it's definitely a way of the future. The other thing I've been working on is an exhaust probe for a wideband sensor. It's the same setup I was using on the WA100 and the Bolt. I just had to make that to go on the exhaust. We've got the gauge. Anything I need to do is work out how to turn off or block the air injection on the Africa Twin, because for emissions I would pump a bit of oxygen into the exhaust, and that contaminates the reading, so it reads leaner than what the bike actually is, because there's extra oxygen put into the exhaust, not what was actually burnt in the combustion chamber. So I'll have to block that with a marble or disconnect it without getting errors on the dash. I pretty much want the bike to think that everything's normal. But I've got the wideband in the back, and I want to see just how the bike runs with the full exhaust with no cat. Some people say it runs lean, the bike runs a bit weird. I think this bike runs fine, but it's more of an intriguing thing, peace of mind thing. I want to see just exactly what the readings are. So anyway, I'll pull the phone off and tape it down and show you. Okay, so this is the little charging pad that I got off eBay. It's just a cheapie, I think it was like $13 delivered. You see, no brand or anything. You look on eBay, there's a million of these little things, all different colours. So I'm hoping, there's a RAM mount, hoping just to stick that down with some double-sided tape, and the phone will sit on top. With the phone, you've got to align them a bit properly. There's a coil in there, needs to line up with the coil in the phone. But with the RAM mount, it's pretty easy because it's fairly adjustable. So I'm just going to tape that down. Okay, so I've got that stuck down with tape. So turn the ignition on. The charging pad's now powered by the 12 volt socket. Just go to stick the phone in. Be a bit hard with one hand. And there you go. It's charging. So that's a lot easier. Just stick the phone in. As long as the ignition's on, it'll charge. See, little charging lights on. So that's a lot easier. More user friendly, not neater, no cord dangling around. The little charging pad did come with a cord, so I've just got that routed around a bit into the 2 socket, 2 amp socket on the cigarette lighter port. But yeah, the other thing I've been working on is with a 3D printer. I've made a little helmet hook to suit the Africa Twin. Suits the profile of the handlebar a lot better, a lot more small than the generic one that I had on there before. A bit more fine tuning, but pretty close at the moment. The other thing I've made, it's going to be a bit hard to see, is GPS mount. I wanted a mount that was really close to the crossbar. Might be able to see. So I designed and made one, clamps on, got some nylock nuts on there to hold it on tight, won't rattle loose. Nice and sturdy, doesn't move. Haven't had it crack or anything yet, so I'm claiming that as a win so far. Thought I'd have to make a few of them before I got it right. Printed that one as well, designed that with SketchUp, and printed it out on my little cheap 3D printer. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. Hopefully going for a decent off-road ride in October, which would be a heap of adventure bikes, mainly smaller bikes around 650cc, but also a couple of bigger ones like 1190 Adventure. Going for a decent ride at many peaks in Queensland, so that should be pretty good. Hopefully I can go and get the time off work. So yeah, that's the little mini update of what I've been working on the Africa Twin. What am I up to now? 1245 kilometres. So putting a few more kilometres on it. Hope to put some more on when I go on this decent ride. That should put a heap of Ks on. 3 days of riding plus the trip there and back. So it should be good.